some more things like, why do you feel like sometimes people feel like they can't even be an adult because they're of childhood experiences? So they says some young adults struggling with trauma, depression, or anxiety may feel that they are not prepared for adulthood and its many demands.
And like they're not suitable
They're
for
not
it.
suitable for it.
Because it's like, oh, I've been through this, I went through this, I went through that.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know how when you be like, well, why you ain't growing up? Why you ain't growing up? You stuff like that. Sometimes, like, childhood experiences can prevent you from growing up. You know what I mean? It could really, really impact you. They said they be afraid of making changes, or they might not have the life skills and healthy coping mechanisms to handle the stressors of getting a job or taking care of themselves.
Yeah.
That's real talk.
Yeah.
That's real talk.
You know, I was thinking about that, like getting stuck in like the time stamp.
Yes, yes.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like, you know, these things that would just be so tough to move past and get over. And as soon as, you know, because it's like, you know, sometimes there's some struggle, but it's like some people, as soon as you get to the struggle, it'd be like, oh, you know, it's like this again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're constantly reminded of how hard things are.
How hard things, exactly. So they said the ways to understand child trauma is like psychological. It could be physical, or sexual abuse. That's one part of a childhood trauma that can be happening. Community or school violence, and that one for me really resonates because I think when I think about that statement about community or school violence, I think about how students get impacted when you have like people coming into schools and shooting schools and things like that.
Right.
It's like my heart always goes out to the children that have been impacted by that because that's not something that's still going to go away.
Right.
Your child experiencing something like that, it's going to carry over. It's going to definitely carry over.
Yeah.
Have that negative impact.
Those memories, and just like being a part of that whole situation. Hi, Event Yours. Thanks for coming in. Happy Sunday. Yes. So that makes me think about that, like, because school violence and having a child like experiencing that is really going to have a negative impact as they get older. They said witnessing or experiencing domestic violence. Yeah.
And we kind of touched on that like prior to today about being mindful of like doing a lot of like physical things and emotional things like in front of children because that can have a negative impact on them. And sometimes like it starts to create a cycle. Like they see things happening as a child and they pick up on it and carry over to an adulthood. Like they see someone always fighting and then they think it's okay. That's normal. To keep fighting and putting their hands start to normalize it, and that could definitely like carry over to a child, to your adulthood. So that's why I'm really like I really pay attention. Like when I see like the young child, especially being in the classroom, that's always like violent, always want to fight, very overly aggressive. And you know, I know that something's happening behind the scenes. They're seeing this. They're seeing these behaviors. They've normalized these behaviors, and they're like they develop like a pattern to say this is okay. When I'm upset or if I'm angry, that my first response is to hit.
This is how you respond.
This is how you respond, right? So I definitely agree with the fact that, you know, those things in childhood could definitely carry over. Right? Like I see it. Like I see it just with my own students. Like I see it. Like I have kids that have like these emotional outbursts, you know, very, very physical, you know, and it's like, okay, you're only 5 and 6 years old. Why do you feel that it's okay to like hit somebody with a chair or go bop somebody beside the head because you didn't like what they said to you? You know? So yeah, so that one like really hit close to home for me. It said national disasters or terrorism can affect you. Like if you're going through it as a child, that it can definitely affect you as an adult. Yeah. And I could see that. I could see that, especially you're young and you see something like that happen.
Maybe
PTSD, exactly. And PTSD is real. PTSD is real. I didn't even realize what PTSD was until I was directly affected by it.
Right.
You know, so that when I say that's real, that's real. It's definitely real. They say commercial sexual exploitation. When I read that, it makes me think about
sex trafficking, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. How kids like get kidnapped or they can be sexually exploited. You know, that happens to you as a child and it carries over and affects you as an adult. You know, sometimes it's hard to like overcome stuff like that. You know, like I'll see stories or they might have documentaries about it. You know, about how they're affected and their adulthood is directly affected from going through that as a child.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's like in seeing that or seeing other people go through
See other people go through it.
sometimes, because it's like sometimes when you just especially like when you're an empath.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
you're seeing somebody experience something and it's like you're absorbing all of that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you feel the trauma.
You feel the trauma. You feel the trauma. They said sudden or violent loss of a loved one as a child can carry over to your adulthood. Yeah. Like I couldn't imagine going through something like that as a child. You know, but it definitely happens. It's definitely real.
It leaves an imprint.
It definitely leaves an imprint or impact on children that go experience through that, right? And like you said, they said we're just talking about how your childhood can impact your adulthood. So these are some examples of how you can be impacted by something that happened in your childhood, right? And you might not understand it. Like you might be going through different situations and don't really understand it until you like have that moment where something directly impacts you as an adult and you say, oh my God, like this something happened to me as a child similar to this or something, or you go through therapy because you're trying to understand some things and you able to release it and it all comes out, right? And it said like if you're a refugee or war, like when I read that I think about like immigrants, coming over as refugees, like their ancestors try to bring them to a better life and they go through all that trauma, trying to escape like wars and things like that. That stuff is real. That stuff is real. So these were just some things that impacts your childhood, and that could be traumatic for you, and you might even think about that is really directly affecting you as an adult and stuff. So they says, what does unresolved trauma look like in adults? So symptoms of unresolved trauma can manifest in various physical, emotional, and behavioral ways. Common symptoms include anxiety, depression, and chronic feelings of sadness or hopelessness. So individuals may also experience flashbacks, nightmares, or intrusive thoughts related to the traumatic event.
Yeah.
That said a whole mouthful for me because that brings me back to like PTSD.
Yeah, like the intrusive thoughts, because it's like, the memories.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't have to be doing anything for a memory to pop into your head and be like, oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I recall like being in certain situations and have immediate flashbacks of trauma. So like when I say PTSD can hit you a little different, and I'm a grown woman, I'm an adult, and it's like it wasn't things that might necessarily happen as a child, but it happened like in my early years, and it still carries with me. Like it took me a long time to get over certain situations, because like you said, I had those flashbacks, and I would always have those thoughts, going back and reliving the same moments over and over again.
Yeah. And then it'd be like the way that you be affected by certain things that you don't even realize that it's, been the ripple effect of something else. Yes. You know what I mean? It could be like an incident that could have made you feel rejected or ashamed or something. You know what I mean? And then it's like, so then in your future you're trying to people please. You know what I'm saying? Because you're trying not to be rejected and stuff. And so it's like, sometimes we have any certain actions that we don't even realize that it's something that's connected to something, how we might have been treated in our past. And so then we be allowing certain behaviors in our adulthood. Okay. So, did you know that there's a such thing as parentification?
What's that?
Parentification. Okay. So, hello. Welcome in. Parentification. Woo. So, what is parentification? So, parentification occurs when a child takes on the emotional or physical roles and responsibilities of an adult and is unable to grow up as a child, but rather has to perform adult responsibilities at an early age.
Oh, you see that a lot in the hood.
Ooh, yes. You definitely do.
Yeah.
Remember, checkers are still there. They can't stand the work through it with the work. Yes, I totally agree with you on that. Event yours. Yes. So sometimes, like you said, like things like trigger certain situations that you went through, like as a child, and now it's like it's a such thing as parentification, right? Like when you've had to take on those roles. That's me. Like you see, my sister's pointing to me. That's me.
She was always the big girl.
I was always
you know,
the big sister.
and you looked out for us.
I had to step into a role of being a parent in a lot of different situations.
Yeah.
And I always looked out for my younger siblings. I always felt responsible for my younger siblings.
Yeah.
Like very protective over you guys. Like and it just carries over.
And you was smart, and you was mature, and you was nurturing, and like yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like I said, when I was like 5, you know what I mean. So like I just remember you just seemed so grown up. You seemed like such a big kid, even though you was only 10 years old. You know.
Yeah.
Like you were smart. Yeah.
I think of just experiences like caused me to like grow up fast, and wanting to protect, and nurture because like so many things were happening. And a lot of cases I didn't feel like I like had that protection, so it's like, well, I'm not gonna let nothing happen to my siblings. And I think like, how they're saying that stuff can like carry over to your adulthood. So I get like very like protective.
Yeah.
I do get very protective. Like with family, my children, like very protective and things. So said like it could be effects and symptoms from parentification. Like some people end up having ADD, ADHD for it. From that.
I'm like,
right, yes.
Right.
Like you could end up having aggressiveness behind it. You could end up doing self-harm to yourself behind it. Mental illness and mental health issues such as depression, binge eating, or substance abuse disorders based on things from childhood.
Yeah.
Wow. They say even absenteeism from school. So when it says skipping school, they don't want to be no parts of school. Things are happening. Yeah. It hurts me sitting here while she takes some of our things you're saying. I've said to her, but it hits different when she's hearing it from another adult. Yes. I'm so glad to have you guys in. Thank you so much. Yeah, this topic touched home for me. Like I always try to pick something that I can relate to, or I know someone that has definitely been impacted by it, and I have been impacted by this discussion today. Yes, and as you hear, my sister Janae just talked about how I was a parentified child. Very parentified child. But they say like what happens to a parentified child as an adult. They say a parentified child does not develop a clear sense of their own needs and feelings.
Wow.
Let me think about that one.
Yeah. Like always putting other people
I did, and I agree. Like I've always put other people first before me. Like it's like that. Just seeing that and repeating that. I'm like always like I've never like thought about myself. Like I was always worried about everybody else. Everybody else's well-being. Wow. I'm the most responsible looks now. Went to take on the responsibility. That's the kind of being good and but yes, and that's me. Event yours. I'm the oldest of all my siblings. Of all my siblings, I am the oldest. So I took on that parental role. Like always being protective.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
used to be like making sure we ate
making sure,
and
yes,
stuff. You know what I mean? Trying to make us happy.
yes,
You know what I mean? Like it's like, because I remember being a sad child. You know what I'm saying? Like I
yes,
remember shutting down and stuff. You know what I'm saying? After what happened between mom and dad and stuff, and but you like really helped me to come out of that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you seem like the only adult around that cared. You know what I'm saying? Like you was a child
I'm just a
yourself.
child myself.
You was a child yourself.
Yes,
You
yes.
know?
You said putting others first. It makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I had started really, really young,
Mhm.
putting others before me.
Mhm.
Being protective, looking out for my younger siblings. As
Mhm.
being the oldest of like 7 children, like
Yeah.
putting everybody else first before me. Worrying about y'all well being. Like you
Mhm.
said, making sure y'all ate. Y'all had clean clothes. Your hair was combed for school and
Yeah.
things like that.
Mhm.
So like it definitely like carry over because I just
Mhm.
always end up being like that mama bear, even as an
Yeah.
adult.
Mhm.
Always being that mama bear.
And it's like, and without having any guidance
And I
yourself.
did not have any guidance.
You know what
Did
I'm
not
saying?
have any
And,
guidance.
yeah.
Yeah. Which is wild to me
Mhm.
that me being like a whole 8-year-old had the sense to know to like take care of like a baby,
Mhm.
change diapers, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Not taught to
Mhm.
do it, but had the
Mhm.
sense enough to care for
Mhm.
babies at that age,
Mhm. Yeah.
So it's mind boggling. Just sitting here like talking about it. Just
Mhm.
it's mind boggling to me. Yes. Whew, yeah. So I was definitely parentified, guys. I was definitely parentified. Yeah. Yeah, but having to take on that responsibility at an early age. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's interesting because it's like, wow, we can even talk about like the effects of like, how that affected my childhood. You know what I'm saying? With my parent being my 10-year-old sister.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing at those moments,
Yes. Yes.
That's
That's deep.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Exactly. Yes. Yes. And I always say like now as being an adult, like I've said it multiple times that I've never really had a childhood. I never really had a childhood. I think it kind of balanced out a little bit, just like
Like
on dad's side, like trying to normalize like what a childhood should look like, going to like the parks and doing things like that. But it was also that child in me that was like, okay, I can't really have fun if things are not going right. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm always thinking about things outside of the fun. So it's like as an adult, like I try to have fun. I try to have fun because I really didn't get to have fun and enjoy my childhood. Do a lot of the things that a child my age should have been enjoying. Like I should have been worrying about being an adult, worrying about whether or not my siblings ate, worrying about I should have been worrying about
It
these
just made
things.
me think about Michael Jackson.
Right.
Because Michael Jackson always said that he was compensating for the childhood that he
never had. Yes.
and that was the whole, premise behind Neverland.
Neverland. Yes.
And
that's
always liked to hang
real.
around children. And
Yes.
because he was like he never had a chance to
Never had a
experience
chance to
that.
experience that. That's real. That's deep. That's deep. This is how this stuff really carries over to your adulthood. That's deep. It's like just sitting here like talking about it. It's like now I have like that frame of mind that I love to enjoy myself. I love to have fun. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like I don't not do anything.
Yeah, you know me. I'm like connect with your inner child.
Right? It's like I'm like that big kid. I love going to like amusement parks and things like that. We get far from being I tune this right here on time. This makes yes, yeah. I'm so glad you're here. I love it. Yes, like I have gotten that frame of mind that I'm gonna live.
Yes.
I'm gonna live. I'm gonna enjoy life. I'm gonna do what makes me happy.
Yeah.
Even if I seem like big kiddish or immature, it's
Mhm.
like this is
So-
what I want to do. This is what
Yeah.
I want to do. I didn't get to do that as a child. You know what I mean? I had to grow up so fast.
Mhm.
You know, so now I'm all about having fun. So like if you be watching watching my vlogs and
Mhm.
you know different things, I'm living my best life.
That's
I'm living my
right.
best life. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying. You
Mhm.
know, I'm doing things that I really didn't get to do as a child. You know, and I'm making the best of it. Like I'm living now.
Yeah.
You know, so and as I think about it, you know, it's like wow, your childhood does definitely affects your adulthood.
It does.
You know, it could be
It certainly
either
does.
negatively or positively.
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
it definitely affects it. Wow, man, yeah,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
definitely
But
definitely.
that's why I like the awareness.
The
You know,
awareness,
and that's what like therapy and stuff like that really helps with too. Because sometimes, you know, when we be trying to recognize certain aspects of ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, but it's like when you start kind of looking at, you know, the different events and
Mhm.
stuff, you
Yes.
know, things that happen
Yes.
in your life and
Mhm.
how those things could have made you feel like this. And so now every time this happened, you're reminded of that and you go into that fight or flight
Mhm.
and you respond in this way. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like when you have that awareness, it
Mhm.
helps you be like, oh, okay, all right, you know, so I see that. So let me tap into that. And, you know, and it's like, you know, when you go and you heal them certain aspects of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like going in and healing like your own inner child
Yeah.
and stuff, you know. Yeah, it's a different type of healing, you know. Yeah, but I even like the idea of, you know, like as, you know, it's like a therapeutic, you know, exercise, kind of like write out your own like biography, you know what I mean, kind of thing, you know what I mean? You know, and then, you know, and looking at those different, you know, points in your life, you know what I mean, like in your timeline where some of those traumatic stamps and
Mm.
things might have happened,
Mm.
and you know, and how those things, you know, might have made you feel, and you know, and how you might be still, you know, triggered by these certain incidents, or you know,
Right.
different stuff like that, and you know
Right.
what I mean, so that you can, you know, kind of do that inner work to try to work through that stuff so that it's not still affecting
Exactly.
you know.
Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, and they said that sometimes you can have low self-esteem
It definitely
from being
creates that.
parentified. Like
Oh yeah.
yeah, they said adults who
Mhm.
were parentified may struggle with low self-esteem, feeling that they're only valuable when they're helping others.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Because, you know
God.
what? It's like because as we're going through it, like
Yes.
I can relate to
Oh
these
my
things
God.
with you.
Yes.
That's reading here.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh man. Yeah, like I
Mhm.
feel my best self when I'm helping somebody.
Mhm.
That is wild.
Mhm.
That is wild.
But it's so interesting too because you are a Cancer,
I am. I am.
and Cancers are nurturing. type of
Cancers
people.
are nurturing. They are.
You know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you read like the, you know, the definition of Cancer,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, you know, the homebody, you know what I mean, that's cooking, taking care of the house, and happily too, wiping your mouth. Come here, baby. You know
Oh
what I'm
my
saying?
God. Oh my God. That is wild, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's like, you know, we need y'all.
Oh wow.
You know,
Yeah.
we don't want none of the negative things and effects that come along with them.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? So that's why. Oh, so that's where your people kick in. You know what I mean? For us to remind you how much we appreciate you.
Oh, thank you.
You know? How much we
Yeah, they
appreciate
said you could have low self-esteem. You can have
Mhm.
depression, like the
Mhm.
constant pressure of caring for others without
Mhm.
receiving support in return. Can lead to feelings of hopelessness and
Mhm.
depression.
When you're not getting that.
When you're not getting it,
reciprocation.
right? Yes, yes, yes.
Mhm.
Sometimes you can be pouring so much of yourself,
Yeah,
and it can
because y'all do pour.
pour a lot,
Y'all
pour a
do
lot.
give,
And I
you know.
can honestly say that there's been moments that I've had them times where like, oh man, like
Mhm.
where is my saving grace at?
Mhm.
Where's my saving grace at?
Mhm.
You know, that
Yep.
I'm pouring a lot into.
Yeah, and when you recognize, like, okay, wait, you know what I mean? I'm being taken advantage of.
Yes,
You be
yes.
like,
Yes,
you know what I'm
yes.
saying?
Mm.
It'd be like, oh, you have lost all access to me.
Mm.
You can get mad, yo.
I do. When I feel used and taken
Yes.
advantage of, it's
It's
like,
like,
oh,
hold up, wait,
wait
what?
a minute. It's like I know I'm a naturally caring and giving person. I give a lot of me, and I do it freely because it's just something in my DNA that makes
Like you
me want to
said.
help
Yep.
others. You know, and like it started young. You know,
Yeah.
just being protective and wanting to make sure somebody's good.
Mhm.
You know, but But what comes along with that is people take advantage of you.
Yeah.
I've had that a
For
lot.
real.
People
Mhm.
take me for granted and take advantage of it, and then they start expecting, and it ends up being one-sided. And then it might take me a minute to like realize it, but then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I'm seeing that everything is always me giving and giving of myself. And how do I feel if I need to ask this person for something? Will this person be here for me? Like, I've had those moments. I've had those tough moments with me, like within the last couple months. Like, I've
People
really,
they didn't even have to ask.
I've really had to like sit back and just reevaluate a lot of situations and stuff. You know, because I've had those moments where I felt like, oh, wow, like me being me, doing too much. You know,
Yeah.
being that person is like put me in a situation where I'm feeling depleted and feeling used now because I might be in a situation where I might need to reach out, but I don't feel like I can.
Yeah.
If I don't feel like I can reach out to you, and I know I've like done and went over and beyond, then I didn't that for me that light bulb goes off.
Right.
Like, could I call this person?
Right.
That light bulb literally goes off for me. And when I had that thought, like, dang, I can't even call them.
And I be like, I feel like trust that intuition.
Trust that intuition. Like,
Every
like
time.
I can't even call them. I can't call them.
Yeah.
Whew, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yes. But they said like it could be consequences to like overparenting too.
Yeah.
Like overparenting. They said like low confidence and the fear of failure could lead to depression and anxiety. Like sometimes like when you had a parent that's just like going over, like had these expectations, like very sheltering, things like that. They said it can lead to the fear of failure. Like, you know how that's when people like can get depressed or they feel like that they're not good enough and things like that. So yeah, I could see that. They said studies show that when like people reach college, like children of overbearing parents are found to be more likely to be like medicated for anxiety or depression. The data emerging about mental health for the kids confirms that harm has been done. So, you know, it reminds me of that time when, you know, kids like been sheltered or something, or like you said, like all these expectations been put on a child, and then they get out on their own.
Right.
And they do the most, be wildin', buck wildin', like doing the most. And you be like, like you was such a good kid. Like, were you really? Or where it was just a situation that, you know, it was so much put on you that you were just kind of like, and this like norm of I can't
walk
do this.
Walk
that straight line, and then when you get out on your own, it's like ooh,
yeah. Like, hey, ain't nobody
here. Right, exactly. And get out and be doing stuff. Like, you know, that's when people be like be dibbling and dabbling and stuff. You know, might not get in the best situations.
Yeah.
Things like that. So like all this is still for like something going on in your childhood. Like this is wild to me. Like how like different situations can carry over to you as an adult.
Right.
You know, they say like even as a parentified child grows up, like as an adult, a parentified child may become a workaholic. Guilty. Guilty. Like working, wanting to do 2 and 3 jobs and stuff like that. You know, because that's like all I know. Like it's to work and provide. Okay, being a workaholic, a high achiever.
Yeah.
High achiever. Like I've been there for like I'm always got to go to the next level. Like all afraid of being disappointing. You know, don't disappoint myself. Don't be a disappointment to others around me. Like always trying to go for the next level.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah,
that's
and
real.
I can see that. You know what I mean? And it's been an inspiration. You know, though. You know, what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It really has. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it's like, you know, it helps me to want to reach higher heights too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like sometimes I just want to just chill. I just want to chill.
Yeah.
And relax. Be that person sitting on the beach sipping a cocktail with my feet propped
I
out.
know.
But my life doesn't allow that because I'm such a high achiever. Like, dang it. You know,
it's
like.
funny, like, because I think about that too, you know, because, you know, that's what always says to me, you know, like, he'd be like, yo, you know, you don't have to work, you don't have to, like, I don't see you know what I'm saying. But I feel like, you know, even with a, you know, if I was a millionaire right now, you know, I would still
want to work. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like, it's just things that I would just still continue to do. I would still be trying to help people. You
So,
know,
yeah.
I would still, I'd be out, now I'm taking that money and we making programs. Now we got a whole nother mission.
No
Because
whole
now
nother
I got
mission.
the money to do
No
the
need
work.
to do it.
What?
Yes.
I'd be like, I'm gonna just be even more busy. You know?
It's like my ultimate dream and goal is to be able to like travel the world, live a little,
Yeah.
you know, take some stress off my shoulders for
Mhm.
always trying to be that high achiever for everything. Like everything I'm doing, I'm always like trying to go to that next level. That I don't
Yeah.
give my body, my mind a rest.
Yeah.
I really
You
don't.
need like a what's that? Is that like a sabbatical?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Where you just take like a year off or something.
Yes.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
would love to do that.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah.
I would
Because I
love to do
think
that.
that you would like regroup and then you would just be ready, like, all right, okay, now I'm ready to, do this and do that
Yes.
and do that.
Yes.
Seeing these different groups and stuff in need, especially the children. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, high achiever, a perfectionist. Oh my
Mhm.
God. Like, that's
You see how
that.
she come with all the information from the experts.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Ready.
Yes,
Ready
a
for
perfectionist.
Yeah.
Woo! Lord Jesus, man, I feel like I'm in a hot seat right now.
Like,
Man.
I'll be like just learning about the topic right before we go on.
Child. That
Yeah.
is me something like I too like I feel a certain way if things are not perfect.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yes.
literally,
Oh my
you know I'm a
gosh.
perfectionist.
Yes, even like when you doing an event or something, she'd be like, "Wait, look, this is not no backyard barbecue.
It's not
Like,
no
I need
backyard
to know
barbecue.
what's
Exactly,
going on.
exactly.
And
I am such a planner. I am such a planner. So, what do you think are the benefits and drawbacks of the impacts of personification? Higher achievement is good, but at what cost? Having grit to handle a lot is a good skill, but at what cost? Yes. Yeah. That's kind of what we were talking about. Like me being a higher achiever, like my sister was just saying, like it motivated her because she saw me like always on my grind. Like you said, like it is benefits and drawbacks to it.
Mhm.
Right. Sometimes like, being a high achiever can be a drawback,
Yeah.
because you're always working. You don't take that time to like rest. You don't take that time to live, I would say.
Yeah, constantly chasing.
Constantly chasing. And sometimes you can chase so much that you can chase yourself into the grave. Like literally chasing.
Yeah, like chasing like success.
Chasing
or,
success,
it's like
yeah.
reach one goal and be like, all right, okay, let me,
Yes.
it'd be another one right
Yes,
after.
yeah. So it's like she said, it could be a good thing, but like at what cost?
Yeah.
At what cost? So I'm learning to like balance. I'm really learning to balance it out.
So important.
Because I put a lot of pressure on myself. I do. I put a lot of pressure on myself to succeed. I don't like failing at anything. And I think for me that's a drawback because I don't give myself a lot of grace. Like if I feel like I didn't accomplish or achieve something, then I can't be like hard on myself.
Yeah.
So that could be the drawback. But I guess the positive note is that I'm always trying, and like it makes me want to keep pushing and like be successful and like don't give up.
Yeah.
So having grit is a good skill and mindset to have. Because you really don't want to get complacent. And like I said, I just feel like that was the cards that I was dealt with. Being parentified. That I don't know how not to, be pushing. I really don't know how not to.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
See, so for me, that's like the silver lining with things. I feel like all the different things that we go through, that help to shape us into who we're becoming.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially if we take it and, make it useful.
Make it useful.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Take the benefits from it.
So, but what about those situations when they saying when you're being parentified and they're saying like you had to be like a mediator between your parents, or being expected to provide for the family financially, like feeling responsible for the parents' well-being, as a child.
Yeah, it's really
That's really
tough.
tough. That's really tough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, when it's like the parent's supposed to be caring for the
Yes,
child, but the
yes.
child is caring for the
Parent,
parent.
parent for the parent. Like I've seen so many different stories about like kids like dropping out of school and things like that because trying to get jobs to help financially support like the parents
The
in the
parent and the
situation
younger
and stuff,
siblings.
you know, and the
Yeah,
siblings and things like that,
yeah,
you know. I just thank God that I was strong enough to like go to
yeah.
school, go to college and things like that.
Mhm,
But it's like, but I did have that burden and that weight to like provide and support,
mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of kids don't like bounce back from that, you know.
Mhm,
Don't they really don't bounce back from that? Like they have to be the mediator between whatever their
mhm.
parents going through, and they take the burden of it. And like I feel like it's not fair for a
Right.
child to carry parents' burdens.
Mhm.
It's really not
At
fair.
all.
It's not as a child. As a child, I know we do it like as adults. You know,
Mhm.
you have a parent. Sometimes your parents get sick or something like that. You know,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's
different.
like a whole different realm right there
Mhm.
because you are an adult. But as a child, it's tough to put that burden on. You
Mhm.
know, put that burden on from a parent doing that to a child. You
Mhm.
know, have that type of burden, whatever. So that could be deep. So and it gives me a lot of insight to like when I look at like adults,
Mhm.
like how they react to things, like how they move, how they do certain situations. Like it could like definitely be from an impact of something that happened in their childhood, you know.
Mhm.
So
For sure.
yep, and they
Wow. Yeah, because everybody got a story.
everybody has a story. Everybody has a
Right.
story.
Mhm.
Like it's like I'm kind of touching a little bit on some of my story, but
Mhm.
it gets deeper. It gets deeper. It gets deeper.
Mhm.
But the whole reason for this conversation, this topic, is to bring awareness. Because sometimes, like as an adult, you might be going through something, or you might be having experiences, and you learn like, where is this coming from?
Right.
Like, why am I like this?
Mhm.
Why am I going through this? Why do I have this thought process? Or something like that. And just me like reading a lot of
Mhm.
this stuff, it's like, wow, like this definitely hits home. It's definitely hits
Yeah, and that
home.
be the frustrating thing.
Right.
Sometimes, like when you don't know,
Right.
or when you can't find it or
Right.
figure it out, or but that's why it's like that. I always go back to the inner work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I love about like sound healing so much too, because it's like it just taps into all those different
All those
areas.
different areas.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like that, like that healing that penetrates into the cells, you know what I'm saying? And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, and it creates those ripple effects of healing, and healing like through the
Through the
generations.
generations.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? From that generational trauma that you be carrying in your DNA. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Because it's energetic healing,
Mm.
you know,
Mm.
and stuff, you know what I mean? Because we do hold on to a lot of
We
stuff
do
from our
hold on to a lot
past,
of stuff.
and it just
Yes.
be affecting us right in our current, and we be like, all right, it's like we want to heal from it, but it'd be like how and
How?
where,
Wow. Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like you have to narrow it down, you have to find it, you have to find tension, or you know what I mean? Because that tension is sitting somewhere
You're sitting
inside of
somewhere.
you,
Yep. Yep.
you
Yep.
know.
Yep. So experts say that it is possible to overcome difficult childhood and the mental health conditions that may be associated with it.
Right.
And here are some ways that you can heal from it.
Hmm.
They said therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, welcome in, welcome in.
Yeah.
Therapy. They said a
Mm-hmm.
therapist with training in trauma
Mm-hmm.
or psychodynamics can help you process your past experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It said develop coping strategies and build self-esteem.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
That was a lovely segue
That
from
that
the sound
was that
bowls.
was yes,
Yeah.
yes. Thank you for coming in. She stole my thunder. Appreciate it. Yeah, and they said like some evidence-based therapies include cognitive behavioral therapies,
Mm-hmm.
trauma-focused therapies, and
Yes.
cognitive processing therapies.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So they can literally help you like develop coping strategies and stuff.
Right. And
Wow.
see, you know, like you said, all right, like those different like I used to be like in strength based, me therapies, because it's like, just, finding out what things you're really good at, and trying to focus on those
Talking about
things and
things.
stuff,
Okay.
but that trauma based therapy, sometimes you really do need that, and sometimes people don't want to focus on that because it's like, it's traumatic. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? When
Yeah.
you feel like you're talking about something and you're reliving it
Reliving.
and
Yes.
stuff, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But sometimes it's like, once you can bring up that memory
Mm.
and, kind of, shake up a bit, and kind of get a different perspective,
Mm.
of those situations stuff, it can just like automatically kind of like change what's happening with you right now.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
it's like, like I said, it's going and like it's almost like going back to that child that experienced it, and and maybe they need to what I'm saying, just kind of take a different perspective of it. It could just be like forgiveness or even them understand that it wasn't their fault.
Ooh,
You know
yeah,
what I
we're gonna
mean?
get into that too. It's
Yeah.
funny that you just said that.
Yeah.
It's funny when you said that.
Yeah, because that'd be sometimes why you be holding on to these things and why you still be having these carrying out these behaviors.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you're still blaming yourself for something that happened to you, or or
Yes.
just however it goes. But yeah, but go ahead, I'm gonna let you get back to what the experts. Let you get back to
So
what the experts
say. They
say.
said self-discovery,
Yeah.
confronting your past experiences and accept them then can lead to healing. That's
Yeah.
pretty much what you just
Yeah.
touched on. Like acceptance is like leading to
Yeah.
healing. Yes. And sometimes it's hard to
It
accept
is.
it though. It's
Yeah.
like, why did I have to go through that?
Mhm.
It's crazy. But they said
Yeah.
that's part of healing, just accepting things that you
Right.
went through as a child. Wow. They said
Yeah.
emotional intelligence, like developing your ability to recognize, understand, and manage your emotions can help you navigate social situations and build relationships.
Mhm.
Emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's been like a big thing I've been hearing a lot of lately.
Yes, emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Recognize, understand, and manage your emotions.
Mm-hmm. Recognize,
Yes.
understand, and manage.
And manage. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Man, it's like that's three things. We be having a hard time at the first one.
At the first one,
Recognizing
recognizing it. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
sometimes people be like, I'm mad, and it's like, all right, you know what I mean?
Why are you mad? Yeah, okay.
And it's like
Yes.
that's them different frustrations be coming from various places.
Yes.
And
Yes.
sometimes you have to like narrow that down. It's like, you know what I mean? Like you might be mad because you hungry or you sleepy or you just might be, you know what I mean? It's something else that's stressing you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's causing you to feel that way. But it's like you said, recognizing,
Yes.
like the proper emotion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, they can help you navigate
Yeah.
these social situations.
You said recognize it and then what?
Understanding.
Understanding it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That part. You know what I'm saying?
Understanding it. Yes.
Understanding it.
Yes.
And then managing it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Managing it. You know what I mean? Wouldn't it be already just like so hard to digest?
Yes.
It's like you trying to digest it. Like, what? Like, this is going on and that's going on and this is happening and
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Woo!
Wow.
They said having a growth mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Embracing a growth mindset can help you view challenges as opportunities for growth.
I love that growth mindset.
That growth mindset.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's like, it's a willingness to be like, okay.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to expand.
Expand, yes.
Because, man, we be so stuck in, like, yesterday. It'd be hard to have that growth.
Yes.
Allow ourselves to develop.
Yes.
Like we're going to lose something.
Yes. Yes.
You don't want to lose who. I always been this way.
Always been that way. But is there room for growth?
You know what I'm saying? It gotta be.
Gotta be room for growth.
Right.
They said resilience.
Mm-hmm.
You can recognize how strong and resilient you are and appreciate the people who support you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I feel like I have been very resilient in a lot of situations.
Yes.
It's like, unless you know me and know what I've been through, like you would not understand.
Yeah.
You would not understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I have persevered.
Yes, you have.
And I have dug myself out of darkness in a lot of situations.
Yeah.
You know?
By yourself.
Just being resilient.
Yeah.
Just being resilient.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Reprogramming. You can reprogram some of your past conditioning.
Boom, boom, epigenetics.
Yes.
What's that? That's been another word that's been coming up a lot lately too. Epigenetics.
Epigenetics.
Talking about something.
Hello, welcome in. Yes.
like a way to like alter your DNA.
Alter your DNA.
With reprogramming.
Ooh.
You know, kind of thing. But go ahead. I was hoping that was going to come up. Yeah, I tried to. That's why I brought.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to like talk. I wanted to mention that.
Yes.
And
Reprogramming.
And speak more on it. Yeah, like the epigenetics.
Epigenetics.
Kind
Okay.
of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. They said you can do hypnotherapy. Has been shown to be effective in addressing and reprogramming limiting beliefs and patterns.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. But that's also what I think about chanting too.
Chanting. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know how like things that we're like repeating, or just like when you put yourself in a trance and like meditating.
Mm.
You know. So in a way, wow. So something just came out. I was, spirit speaking. And I was just thinking about like meditation being kind of like this self hypnotic type of situation. You know what I mean? And especially, when you're doing like a guided meditation with yourself or something, if you're guiding yourself and you're giving yourself these visuals and, you kind of allow yourself to go into this trance and, like you really, literally just like kind of going in and like reshaping, like your thoughts, to help you, to think in a different direction, it's like, like with a guided meditation, say like, or affirmations or something, it may be something you may be thinking like, oh, like I can't do this or something. But when you start thinking about the possibility of being able to do that particular thing and literally like repeating that in your mind, anytime you start to think negative about it, like, no, you flip it and give it a,
flip it. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And literally like reprogramming
yourself,
yourself. And it's like, you can also do that. It's like with your memories, all those types of things. It's just, yeah, so like that reprogram and give yourself, because sometimes it doesn't, like it takes time, and I think people just give up too quickly. Because you might need to do it for like 40 days. But they'll get to that 35th day and like, oh, it's not working.
Not working.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have to keep at it. So that consistency with the programming, because we don't just program instantly like computers. It takes some time for us to align, to get in alignment, and the proper tuning with what it is that we want or who we want to be. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So I see Event Yours said that resilience is necessary. Ability in life to sustain and push through in life. She says she tells her daughter and shows her all the time that it's not about beating yourself up for failing, but how you get up from it. Love that. Love that. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, because you're going to fail.
Yep, exactly. He said, get back up and try again. Don't beat yourself up. Love that.
Right. That's how you learn. That's part of
learning. That's part of learning.
That's part of learning. So much of that. That's the best way to be successful is to make mistakes.
Yeah. And they say that like a lot of people, adults who have like childhood trauma, they said they can't stick with you in your life because people think that they've always been on their own with them, and so they learn how to cope with them and rely on their own resources,
right?
Because they like, okay, I've been going through this all this time by myself. I had nobody else to help me get through and manage it, so they cope and they use their own resources to get through it, right? And they said it's easy to heal from it, like through hard work and support, like self-discovery and understanding and confronting them,
right?
Yes, so they call them ACEs. Like we talk a lot about ACEs, in the school setting. Adverse childhood experiences, because childhood experiences are real, and they can come in all different ways. You never know what a child is going through when they walk through them doors. Right. But it says a lot of ways that you can overcome it. Like you said, healing from it. Talk to a therapist about your childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people have that stigma that they don't want to talk to therapists and stuff.
Yeah, which is wild, what I mean? Wild. And I understand, what I'm saying, just because of, our history and, the things that we believe about and stuff. But I feel like that's what makes Black psychologists and Black counselors and stuff like that so necessary.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? To have trained, people who have been trained, to have these conversations, and stuff. That know how to listen, and that can really help you work through this stuff. Yeah, because it is more than like just having a conversation.
It is more than having a
You know what I'm
conversation.
saying?
Yes.
You can just have a conversation with, your neighbor or something like that. But when you go in and you have these conversations, like I said, with people who are, like I said, just trained in
Just
a way,
train. Yes.
um,
Yes.
it's something different. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's something different.
Yep. They said
Hmm.
build a support network of people you trust. My
Yeah.
network is
Small.
small because I do have a hard time trusting people
Right.
because I've been in so many different situations where people have like hurt me and stabbed me in my
Uh-huh.
back, try to circumvent things I had going on. So
Hmm.
I do have a small network,
Yeah.
and sometimes like me stepping out of that is really tough because I'm never like open to like the outside world because sometimes people come into your circle and you don't know if they have good intentions or not.
Hmm.
It's like, do I trust you? That do I
Hmm.
really trust you? Like I do try to align myself with people that I really trust. Like
Right.
I've shared a lot of my story with people, but it's because I feel like I can trust you with my story.
Hmm. Yeah.
Some people you can't trust them with your story. Like
Right.
it's like certain people like I might have been known for like years. Like
Hmm.
I won't even invite them over to my home.
I hear
You
you.
know,
Hmm.
some people have not been over to my home, but then I might meet somebody moving forward
Hmm.
and I feel comfortable. Something in my spirit says that I can trust you. Then
Yeah.
I'll bring you into my world. I'll invite you over to my home, do things with you, might share something with you that I might not have shared with anybody else, or something like
Right.
that. So they said like building that support network is really, really important.
Hmm. I'm
It's a
trying to read this
question.
question here.
So because we have gone through it, do you find yourself making it hard for others because you had to take the hard route? Where do you draw the line of giving the fish or teaching the fish? Yes, yes,
So
yes,
what they say, like, all right, so like, um, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that when people say like, oh, like they try to make you go through something hard
yes,
because oh
yes,
well, it wasn't easy for me.
yes,
You know what I mean?
yes,
Kind of stuff like that. I be
mm-hmm,
feeling like they be hating.
yes, yes.
They
Exactly.
be like, dang,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
Some people actually literally think that.
yeah,
Like I've gone through and
it
you
was
need to go through
traumatic
it
for
too.
me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You gotta earn some dues or something and go through
Mm-hmm.
like this same traumatic situation. Like it'll be too much for them to help you. You know.
Yeah, I've never personally thought that because I've gone through something
Mhm.
hard or traumatic that I need to put somebody else through it. I've never personally felt that way.
Right.
Like I
Yeah.
try
I
to
be trying to
make it easier,
things
make things easier, because
for the next
I've gone that
people.
path, or I've been directly affected by it or gone
Mhm.
through it. I don't want to see nobody else go through that. I
Exactly.
don't. But
Yeah.
some people don't
Like
really
I'd
think
rather
like that.
pave the way.
I'd
if
rather
I
pave the
can.
way. Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
just like, you know what I mean? Because that's what our ancestors did for us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
A lot of them, they
Yes.
paved the way.
Yeah. Like it's better to try to make the journey easier for somebody. Like especially if you got something you can share,
Mm-hmm.
to steer them away from that hard road. Do
Right,
it. Don't be
right.
like, nope, figure it out.
Exactly.
You know. I don't think that's not fair.
It's
to
not.
somebody.
It's not.
Like just figure it out. I
You know
had to
what
go
I'm
through it. You didn't learn the hard way. But a
Right.
lot of people get that mindset
Mhm.
that it's like, all right, well, I got through. They ain't had nobody to guide me through and
Uh-huh.
steer me the right way. So you need to figure it out too. That's not cool.
Right.
That's
Now,
not cool.
see, you said something about like, teaching the fish or, giving the fish. And I think like both, you know what I mean? I would say definitely give them some fish, but also definitely teach them the fish. Like, all right, look, like I'm
Yeah.
giving you this fish today.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? But not tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, no,
Yes.
I'm going to show you how to do it,
Uh-huh.
and then we going to eat.
There we go. Yes.
But I'm going to show you how to do it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
say practice mindfulness to help ground yourself in present moments.
Um,
Mindfulness.
Woosah.
Yes.
Yes, we need that mindfulness.
We
you know what I mean? 'Cause
do. We do.
I know it's been times, but I was just one of those people. You know what I'm saying? They used to snap, always ready to fight.
Oh,
You know what
I
I'm saying?
know. I
You
know.
like say, the results of having
I
a
know.
10-year-old
Oh, yeah,
parent,
she-
you know?
yes. Always ready
Used to
to.
be
She
like
was
this.
like a ticking
I was
time
so
bomb. And you see how tiny
explosive.
she is, though. But
And how-
she was
and
she,
how peaceful
she
I
was
am.
very peaceful now. But as a child, oh my God, like this one, my mom used to be like, "You get suspended one more time. You let that school call me one more time." Like, 'cause she was always ready to
my
rumble.
God.
Like, always like, "Oh, you said something to me. Let's fight."
I don't know what it was. I just had these anger issues.
Yes, yes.
And so I feel like I have done so much work.
You have.
I
You
have done
have.
so much
You
work
have.
on myself.
You have.
You know what I'm saying? So like that mindfulness
Yeah.
is huge.
It
for
is
me.
huge.
It is
true.
huge for me.
Very.
It has brought me a long way. Of just being like, all right, 10,
Take
9,
them deep breaths.
8.
8.
You know what I'm saying? Be like, all right, I'm not gonna take the bat out my car. I'm not gonna take the bat out my car. You know what I'm saying? Like just
I'm
you
crying.
know.
I'm crying. Yeah. Yeah. That's why you just gotta be mindful.
Yeah.
I mean, I do that all the time. Like I've learned that model of think twice, react once.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
instead of it being the other way around.
I'm just
And like even like with in the classroom, like you know, working with children, they have this mindset, especially after they've like had recess and they're in their frame of mind that okay, it's still play, it's still play. I always do a mindful meditation. I'm like, okay, let's get our minds and bodies ready for learning time, because I know you've had this whole hour of fun and that's all that's on your mind right now. Now we need to recenter. So I always do like a mindful meditation. I said just to get our minds and our bodies ready to focus on learning, because playtime is done now. We need to move on to the next part of our day.
That's so
and
smart.
it's not part of us playing anymore. It's our minds need to be reprogrammed that it's time for learning time. So I do this every time. Every time we come from like lunch or recess, it's always like a mindful meditation. Just get our minds and bodies ready for learning. Get playtime is done. Time to move on. So I do that every day.
Yeah, and that's so wise, because a lot
Yeah.
of children they struggle
with that transition. They do. I know this. I know this. They want to still come in play. I'm saying, no, it's not playtime.
Yeah.
Now it's time for us to move on to learning.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get our mind and our bodies right. We're gonna get ready
right
for this transition to move into learning. Because now we've got it all out of our system and we've calmed down and we've had this mindful meditation. Now we can open our minds to the possibilities of learning now, and we're not playing anymore. Yes, honey. All right, girl, I gotta do what works, child.
Yes.
I have to do what works. Listen, and they say setting boundaries with people and places that don't uplift you. Ding, 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 ding.
Right.
Yes, setting those boundaries. Yes, I have had to learn that. Setting boundaries, which was hard for me. It was very hard. I mean, it was very hard for me. Like always wanting to be open and being available and giving and being that person. And I just had to be like, I gotta set some boundaries. And painful as it may be to say no, like I need to do that at this point. And not feel guilty about it. Like
And
I would
not
feel
feel-
guilty about it.
Oh no, yeah. See,
Woo!
I'm all about the unapologetic no.
Yes, like and not
You know
feel
what I'm
guilty
saying? And
about
just,
it.
you know, and not, you know what I mean? Because I used to be like, oh no, I'm sorry, I can't, you know what I mean? Stuff. Now I'll just be like, no.
No.
You know, I'm not sorry.
No, sorry.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Child.
like, you know what I mean? And reminding myself that no is a complete sentence.
It's no, it's a complete
You know what I'm saying?
yes.
Just being like,
Woo! Yeah. And they said, like, how can you, like, move forward? Like, if you've been going through a bunch of pain and betrayal, like, as a child, like, how can you move forward to healing as an adult? Like I said, like, seek professional help. Yeah, we talked about that, getting therapy. They said develop positive skills to move forward.
Yeah,
From
develop
being
some of them positive
Yeah,
habits.
yes, from going through a lot of pain and betrayal, talking it out.
Yeah.
As an adult, sometimes you might have gone through stuff as a child. Sometimes talking it out as an adult with the person that caused you pain or betrayal might help you move forward and not be carrying
Well,
it.
you know, pardon me, and sometimes you can't talk to those people.
You
though.
can't sometimes.
You know what I'm saying?
But talking it out.
Yeah, but talking out,
Talk-
even if it's
yeah.
talking it out to your own
Yes,
self.
talk it out.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Is, you know, and writing it out.
Writing it
I,
out.
I think that writing it out be like so, it really helps with getting it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, but like you said, like that talking it out, especially like, you know, with the trained professional,
Yes.
somebody who is trained. I can't, because, you know, I think that some people, like, they just don't believe in, you know,
Yes.
and I didn't either. I remember the first time, you know, I was the first time I was in therapy, I was forced to. You know what I'm saying? In the military, it was like one of those things I had to do.
Yeah, to do.
But
Okay.
I sat and I would not talk to this woman. And it was just like nothing she could do to break through to me.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It was just like,
wow.
you know what I mean? You know, I just wasn't interested.
Interested.
I just wasn't interested. I didn't believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It was just like, how can she help me?
Mm.
You know what I mean? That was all I was thinking. It was like, what can she
What
say
can
to
she
me?
say to you to help you?
You know what I'm saying? You
Yes.
know, that's gonna, you know, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, I just wasn't giving into it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? To the process or just anything. You
So
know?
did you eventually try to get into it or no? Or you never
Years
did?
later,
Years later.
I never did. I you know, it was like, yeah, you know what I mean? I don't know. It was just, you know, it was like, I remember at that time thinking like, man, I need to go to church.
Well,
That
we
was-
grew up in church.
You know what I'm saying?
We
And
definitely
that
grew up
was
in
all I
church.
was thinking. It was
Yes.
like, I ain't talking to her. She don't know me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know, but, you know, I said growing up in church, it was like, all right, like I need to go to church.
Go to church, yes.
You know, and that was really, and I know that we have that.
Yes,
You know
we
what I'm
have that
saying?
strong foundation of
That
church.
foundation,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
But it's like, that's when you really have to do that inner work. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of folks, you know, they be like, all right, you know, like I'm giving it to Jesus. But Jesus is you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's like, and you still, you know, I used to feel like, you know, it's like people be like, oh, I'll turn it over to Jesus. And then you're not doing the work because
Not
you're looking
doing
for
the work.
Jesus. But Jesus
Yeah.
is you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You
Like,
gotta put in the
you know what I'm
work
saying? You
too.
have to tap in.
Tap into it.
You
Tap
know,
into it.
and become Christ-like, and you know, what I mean,
Mhm.
being that, you know,
Yes.
that energy, and you know, but yeah, but that's the whole nother.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
they say silence your inner critic.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Being
yes,
critical of yourself.
yes.
Being
You gotta
critical.
shut
Silence
up.
that. Shut that down.
Yeah.
Shut that down.
Speaking that love and
Speaking
light
that
to
love and light
yourself.
to yourself.
Mhm.
And get in touch with your inner child. I do
Yes.
that. I do that a lot. I get in touch with my
Right.
inner child. I do things that I didn't do as a child.
Mhm.
Do things that make me happy.
Yeah.
You know, because you know I didn't get to do a lot of stuff growing up.
Right.
So I definitely tap into my inner
Yes,
child, and
yes.
I might have my silly moments.
Mhm.
I might
That's
be
why I
playful.
love smiling. And
Yeah,
laughing.
it's like you might be like, girl, grow up. Like you was a
Uh-huh.
whole 50 years old doing them. Okay, Ann.
For real.
For real, I like
For
having
real.
fun. I'm enjoying myself. I'm living my
Yes.
life.
And you know they got this thing talking about these teenagers.
Teenagers.
Teenagers, like these older people that are like, you know, like these seniors that are like they like reliving like
Reliving their teenage
or something,
years.
you know what I mean? Like
Okay.
they were just in touch with their youthful
In touch with-
side, and they
okay.
call themselves teenagers.
Okay, that's a new one. And
Yeah.
it's like in a way to like overcome like being critical of your childhood. Give yourself a timeout.
Yeah, how about
Give yourself
that?
a timeout.
Yes.
Okay,
Whatever
Think
that
about it.
means.
Give yourself a timeout. Like journal about the criticism, like from your parents and stuff. Allow yourself to notice your childhood patterns
Yeah.
and current things.
Uh-huh.
Journal about it.
I have an exercise for that.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, what they call it, I think it was Lisa Nichols.
Lisa Nichols.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lisa Nichols.
Okay.
She talks about she's really awesome. It's a whole bunch of people. I think we need to you know, just do like a show about that. But Lisa Nichols is one of those folks where but she said that write down your doubts, or
Write
you
down
know,
your
like
doubts. Okay.
like the lies that you tell yourself.
Ooh.
You know what I'm
wow.
saying? You know,
Mm.
yeah, I spoke to a young person recently that was like, I'm never going to fall in love. I'm never going to have children. And I'm like, girl, you 20.
20.
You like calm down.
Calm down.
You know what I'm saying? You know, but that would be an example, like, okay, you know, like, you know, write them things down, and then, you know, and then write down like an affirmation for that's in a positive light though. Because you don't want to
Wow.
be affirming that.
Affirming that.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm never going to, you don't want to stamp yourself with
Yes.
that. I'm never going to this and I'm never going to that. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, you know, so it's like you turn it around. It's like, okay, you know, like, you know, like I will have, or I'm attracting,
Ooh.
you know, I'm attracting a loving, nurturing relationship. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
You know, that's going to produce this.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
what I'm
Yes.
saying? Type of thing. And just
Mm.
really turning that around. And then she said, you know, but she was talking about this exercise where you say like I guess I'm gonna say negative, you know what I mean? You know, or the doubtful thing, and then you say the positive thing, and then eventually you erase the negative thing, and then you only keep repeating the positive thing.
Wow.
To kind
Love
of
that.
to shift the programming.
Love
type
that.
of,
Love that.
you
Love
know,
that. Love
yeah,
that.
exercise.
Yeah, that reminds me like having vision boards. Like like a whole vision board of things that I want to see in my life, things to manifest. Yes, love that. Like you said, like journal about your good qualities. You just said that. And when you interact with a critical like parent or person, step into the role of being the adult observer. And rather than being hurt or criticized as an adult.
Oh, so they like step outside the window.
Step outside the window.
And look at it from the outside,
yes.
look at it and be like, You know, because then you'll start to see, oh, well, that person, they're being like this because of what they went through. As a child, you start to understand them a little bit more. And sometimes it helps you to not take it so personal. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you can be like, okay, they're being like this with me because they experienced that and they experienced that, you know what I mean? And instead of, you know, like taking on all of that, you know what I mean? And just like, you know, like I said, making it like personal, like it's all about you, you know, try to understand that maybe they, you know, are just going through something. But that's just my thought.
Okay, so before we close out, so it was a question about how can I move forward after a difficult childhood. So how can I move forward in life without feeling pain?
Yeah.
So the answer that expert had to that question was there's no simple or easy way to expunge pain that is deeply embedded into your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
But if you are patient and with divine grace, progress can be made. Consider then these steps and thoughts about it. So, 1, begin to ask yourself, what can I learn from these painful memories? How can I turn what seems dark into light of wisdom?
Exactly.
Yes.
How can you transmute that, that energy and use it to like build you instead of tear you down?
Tear you down. And a simple and obvious thought would be this: vow never to do the same things to anyone else in your life.
Right.
Certainly not your child. If you were to have children or already do have children.
Yeah, see, and that was one of the big things.
Woo! Yes, that was the biggest thing. That was the biggest. Yes.
Want our children to go through the things that we went through. So we worked very hard at being good mothers.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. That part right there. Yeah. Like, I did not want the cycle to repeat itself. It's like things that I had to go through as a child, I never want my children to experience ever. Like, they're adults now, but I never wanted them to experience what that was actually like.
Right.
I never wanted them to grow up too fast. I wanted them to be children, enjoy their childhood. I always say, you're going to be adult much longer than you're going to be a child.
Much longer.
Much longer.
Oh, okay.
I always like, embrace your childhood. Embrace your childhood. Because when you become an adult, adulting is a whole lot different.
Sure is.
Okay? But I never tried to take their childhood from them because I knew they were going to be at some point adults in their life.
Yeah.
So, but I never wanted that cycle to repeat itself. Yourself, you know? So, so that definitely like resonate with me. It said, but also to adults, when you face conflicts, don't repeat the same patterns with others as been inflicted upon you.
Exactly.
Break them cycles.
Exactly.
Don't do the same pattern. Okay, I agree with that.
Yep, and I understand sometimes it be like ingrained in us where you can't help but like you just you find yourself acting like
yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's just, you know, but it's like recognizing like, whoa, like I'm doing the same thing to you that this person done to me.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Recognize it. And
break the pattern. Break the pattern. They say psychologists have established that victims of abuse have such strong tendency to abuse others in turn.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah,
that part right there.
Because they be thinking like that's the way.
That part right there. That part right there.
You know what I mean? When I hear people be like, you know, especially when I hear folks screaming at shit, because I don't play that. You know, like somebody screaming at me. That's the easiest way.
I'm like, Lord, you're fine.
You know what I'm
Lord,
saying?
you're fine.
Because
I don't like that. I don't like that.
You know what I'm saying? Because it'd be like, no, like you don't want me to go there with you,
right? Because I can yell too.
I can go there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, but you know, you might not like it when I turn green. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be like, let me be like peaceful. So don't like that.
Stay in that peaceful zone.
And sometimes you find out though, it's like, but that's like the way that they grew up.
That's the way they grew up, and they only that's all they know. All they know is the loudness and getting really over aggressive and the yelling. Sometimes that's all they're just accustomed to. But they said to break it, because that sometimes when you go through that as a child, it carries over. Like how you said, like you'd be used to seeing like parents fighting or hitting each other, a lot of violence, and you grow up and you think it's okay. Like you start hitting, like that's when abuse comes in.
Exactly.
Like you put your hands on people and stuff like that. Like break it. Yep. It said make the effort to become conscious, compassionate, calm, respectful, and accepting person as an adult. Make that conscious effort to do that. Make that conscious effort. And
what's her name? Eartha Kitt, when she said, I am addicted to bettering myself.
What's the rest of the soul? Eartha Kitt.
I love her.
So even though we don't want to for our own children, do we also find ourselves having certain
what they say? I ain't got my glasses on.
Okay. Yeah, so Vengo said another question. So even though we don't want that for our own children, do we also find ourselves having certain responsibility or expectations of our children? Like graduations or whatever. Yes. Totally relate to that.
Yes.
Like, I don't want them to go through what I went through, but in the same token, I want them to do better. Be better.
Be better than you.
Be better than you.
Yes, because you're giving them a better opportunity.
So I can totally say that I have put in a lot of expectations on my children to do better and be productive members of society. Like, it was like, I had like a no nonsense policy in the household.
Yeah.
Like, with the girls, it was like, books before boys. Like, it was no having boyfriends. Worry about them books. Get yourself together. Get your mind right. Do what you need to do for you. Boys, no boyfriends. Like, I was strict. But me growing up, I didn't have that strictness. Like, my mom wasn't like all strict about me having a boyfriend or nothing. But I was. Like, no. I know with me, worrying about boys and stuff did growing up. You could get so blinded, following behind everybody else that you lose focus and sight of what you need to do. So I was real strict about that with the girls. And with the boys, I was like grades before girls. Girls gonna always be there. I tell the boys, girls are gonna always be there. You know what I mean? I was like, get your education. Do what you need to do for you. Them girls gonna be there. So I was very strict on that aspect. Like, not wanting them to fall into patterns and traps that I fell into as a young grown adult. As a teenager, because, especially like being young, falling in love all young, running about this boy, I was like, I didn't want that. But I did put a lot of expectations, like, y'all have to graduate. That was non-negotiable. You had to graduate. Although that wasn't put on me, for me growing up, I wanted to graduate and do better. But it wasn't like stipulated that you need to graduate.
Not at all.
It wasn't no you need to go to college. It was that expectation wasn't even put on me or ever. But as a parent, like I wanted to break that cycle. Like, I wanted my kids to have a plan and see that it is something beyond them. Something bigger than them, something that they can achieve and accomplish and stuff. So there, she got some good questions. I love it. Very thought provoking. Love it. Yes, but sometimes you don't want them to follow like the same patterns, but you do put expectations. I do agree. I've done it.
Yeah. You expect them to
I expect them to be better.
Of society.
And I didn't do not the negative things. But I did like have a certain set of expectations for the kids. I did, and and now as an adult and a GG, like I sit back and I said, I felt like I did something right. I was like, the kids turned out fine.
Yes.
Like, some of them are parents on their own and things like that.
Yeah. And and that's what they
say.
Rudy.
Hey.
They say that you never really know if you've done a really good job raising your children until they become adults. Yes. And I
sit back and I look, I was like, I guess me being that tough parent but I was still loving and nurturing.
Yeah.
But I showed them a better way. Like, you know, you could be better and do better. Like, don't fall into the trap. And my biggest fear was my kids being a stereotype. I'm like, you already got tough because you black.
Yeah.
You already got tough because, you know, people are already going to look at you different. Okay? So, but don't fall into that stereotype.
Right.
I always just tell them that. I was like, do better. Do what you need to do for you, you know? So, yeah. So I definitely changed, like, a lot of the patterns and mindset of from growing up, you know, and not having that adult to really guide me and tell me the right thing, you know. It was just like, I just wanted to do better, you know, for myself. And then I knew when I had children that I was going to break that cycle, and I wanted to lead my children the way they should go.
Yeah.
I'm not have them just like figuring it out, you know, like I had to.
Yeah.
And they said, let go of blame. Like, let go of blame.
Gotta let go.
They gotta let go of the blame.
Wow.
Like,
yeah, because you know, I know some people, you know, and it's like they do, you know, it's like they're adults.
yes.
But they still be angry
So angry.
at their parents, you know, because it's like, oh, my parents didn't show
Yes.
this, my parents didn't do this,
Yes.
my parents didn't line this up,
Yes.
or whatever. And I'll be like, I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But, you know, it's like once you get into adulthood where, you know, you start to make your own decisions and, you know, things like that stuff, you know what I mean? It's, you just can't continue to blame these other people. You
No.
have to take control.
Yes.
You have to take control
Yes.
of your life,
Yes.
your choices, you know, your movements. You have to take control over what you're attracting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at that point, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's just not up to them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah.
They said it's not helpful to focus on those in your childhood who have harmed you. Like, work on forgiveness. Pray that they learned and grow from their mistakes. Like you said, like, holding on to it. Don't hold on to it. Don't hold on to it. Like let it go. Like you
It's
said,
like it's
I
negative
actually had an
energy.
experience like that. Like, with my like first husband.
Yeah.
Like, I remember him being as a grown adult, and he would sit there and just like sob and cry and just be like so angry. Like, you know, like he would want to like self-medicate himself by like drinking a whole 6-pack of beer and things like that, just to hide the pain. And it's like the more he drank, like the more his emotions would come out, and he would just talk about, when I was a child, my dad used to beat me, or my mom didn't love me. Like, it was all this stuff with childhood would come out, and I would just watch this grown man just sob and sob and sob, and everything he sobbed about was things that happened to him as a child.
Wow.
Things that happened, like, he never let it go. I'm like, you like 30, 40 years old, and you're still holding on to these trauma-filled experiences that you went through. Like, you have not let it go. Like, you didn't talk to your parents about how it made you feel. You know, like, y'all are adults, and he has so much resentment against his parents a lot. Like, we would be in the same spaces, but soon as like he got to like drinking or something, all his anger will come out and stuff like that. So like, they never really understand why he would get so angry at them.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, you need to like talk to them. You need to talk to them, because like you suppressed this for so long, but you're still crying about it as an adult. It was tough.
that?
But yeah, it was like he blamed them for how his life turned out. Never forgave. And they said, make your life a prayer and a meditation.
Yes.
They said, let your relationship with God in whatever form you are attracted to
Yeah.
become the most important relationship in your life.
I agree with
Work
that.
on devotion and acceptance of the divine will. Woo! Yes, meditation. How we said, like, let your life be
Yes.
prayer or meditation. Meditation and mindfulness.
I always say that I'm in a constant state of giving thanks.
Giving thanks.
So
Yeah.
that's like where I'm at now with myself, you know what I mean? You know, even like sometimes like, you know, because I used to have road rage like crazy. So, but like now, like, you know, somebody cut me off or something like that, or I see them rushing or whatever, and I'll be like, maybe they're late for work, you know what I mean? Maybe something's happened with their child, you know what I'm saying?
Give
You know what I'm saying?
other things, yes.
It's like I just be like giving grace.
Give 'em
You know what I'm
grace.
saying? You know what I mean? For one, it's just be like, you know what? Like maybe they had a bad
Maybe
day.
they had it bad.
Whatever the case may be, that they feeling like they need to be in that. I don't need to join them.
Join them, yes.
There.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what
because
I'm
their
saying?
situations go bad like
You
that.
know
They
what I'm
definitely
saying?
do.
You know, because it's like, you know, it's
Yes.
like, because it'd be like, if I let them upset me, and now I'm upset,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying, and stuff, and, you know, it's
Yes,
like, I just
yes.
remember having to, like, get control
Get
of
control
that.
of that, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember, like,
It's easy to fall into that trap when people be cutting you off and all crazy. They'll be like, what in the world? Like
Yeah, next
I
you know,
find
you
myself, my
screaming.
pressure getting up. Be like,
Yes.
whoo,
Then you stressed out.
woosah, I'm all
And they
stressed
in a whole
out.
nother car.
They're in
they
a whole
gone.
nother car. They already gone.
You know
Then
what I'm
it
saying?
almost made you go up on the sidewalk into the pole, and they done gone, kept moving, and you still upset. Like,
Yes.
Lord, yeah, I know that's hard.
Yes.
That's definitely what you definitely have to meditate and say, Lord Jesus, take the wheel. I do it. I'm like, Lord, take the wheel, take the wheel.
Yes.
Woo, calm down, Musa. And they said, consider if you are ready to help others who perhaps have suffered in their similar ways. So sometimes people, carry out things that they've gone through. So see how you can help them. They might have suffered. This is why they behave or act that way. They say, or be open to the possibility of doing this when you have made some progress and letting it go, forgiving and accepting it.
Mm-hmm. So that's like it's like
Mhm.
once you have been able to learn how to let some things go, it's like showing someone else how they
Yes,
can also help.
yes, yes,
help
yes,
them to let
yes,
it go.
yes. They said this can take many forms and need not to be formal therapy or counseling.
Right.
But knowing that you have suffered might help you to be more understanding
Mm-hmm.
and accepting of people who act out with anger or verbal abuse.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So they say like life is like a school and we receive lots of lessons.
Yes.
Though before we can go to higher grades, we have tests to come to help us learn and grow.
Mm-hmm.
I always say, Mike, I've gone through so many tests. My life is a testimony.
Oh yes.
You can't have a testimony without the test.
Uh-huh.
You might not understand it, but everything happens for a reason. And I always say your steps have already been ordered.
And that's why healing is a journey.
Yes, it is
because
definitely a journey.
it's like it's not like you reach this moment of enlightenment and you're gonna be forever.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because it's like that starts over again, like every moment.
Yes,
You know
yes.
what I'm saying? Because
Yep.
anything can just trigger you and throw you off,
Yep.
track.
Yep. It says accepting that your challenging upbringing has been specifically designed to help you will make it more possible that you can turn the darkness of pain into the light of love and joy.
Wow.
Woo!
But
That note
It said accepting that your childhood
has been specifically designed to help you make it possible.
has been, because I remember I thought
Woo!
about that many times. Because I was
Yes.
like, had I not gone through the things
Yes.
that I have been through, would
Yes.
I be the person that I am right
Yes,
now?
that part.
You know what
That
I'm
part.
saying? And it's like, and I love me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel like it definitely shaped
You
me
know what
into
I'm
the
saying?
woman that I am today.
Right.
Going through that.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yes, definitely persevered. Have been definitely resilient and everything.
Right.
Like I have that story and that testimony of what I went through, how
Uh-huh.
far I've come.
Yeah.
How God has brought me over.
Yeah.
Because I always say like I'm not supposed to be here. Like the devil tried to take me out many times,
Uh-huh.
but God had a bigger
Tried
plan.
to destroy you.
He tried to
Yeah.
destroy me,
Yeah.
and He had a bigger plan. That's why I'm here today,
Yes.
and I have my testimony.
Yes. Here
Yeah.
thriving.
Yes, here thriving. Yes.
Yes.
But yes, that has been our subject.
Hey.
Does your childhood affect or impact your
Yeah,
adulthood?
how
And
about
yes,
that?
we have learned a lot. I've learned a lot from me.
Yes.
And this is like real talk. These things do happen, and a lot of people are affected by it.
Yes.
It is key takeaways from it. Although you can have negative reactions or adverse experiences from it,
Mhm.
you can't overcome.
Yes.
You can't overcome. So, as always, I start out with showing the problems and how things can negatively affect you, and then giving you a positive outlook
Yes.
of how you can overcome it and come through it.
You can
So I hope
overcome.
you have learned something, and I really appreciate those who engaged in the chat,
Right.
because those were very interesting questions, and it definitely makes you think, and be able to like dive deeper down into the conversation and the discussion at hand. So I totally appreciate that. I totally appreciate that. But yeah, that has been our time today. And I really appreciate everybody who joined us today for our Sister Talk Sundays. As always, we do this every Sunday at 3 o'clock. And I always say, you never know what we're going to talk about.
Right.
You never know what we're going to talk about.
Mhm.
Each week we have a different topic of discussion. So we really appreciate you for being here. You could have been anywhere today,
Yeah.
and you joined our live, and for that we're so grateful.
Word up.
So grateful and appreciative.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming in, Event Yours. I really, really appreciate your support
Yes.
for today. And yeah, so we hope that we will see you next Sunday at 3
Mhm.
o'clock. And as always, if you have not done anything for yourself, please do something for you.
Yes.
Please do something for you.
Mhm.
I hope you have a great rest of the day
Yes.
and an amazing week.
Uh-huh.
And we'll see you Sunday.
We'll see you
Same
Sunday.
time.
Same
All right.
time. Yes.
Until then.
Say hi to Goddess Janae. Go and check out my.
Yes. Oh, yes. Looking
Yes.
forward to it. Looking forward to it. Yes. Yes. I can't wait. I can't wait. Yes. See you in.
Oh, what's that? Y'all talking about the cruise?
Oh, it's another cruise happening in December. I
What?
thought you were talking about the one happening next. Was it July, August?
Mhm.
Oh. Oh, so you're gonna be on a cruise? Okay. She said she's gonna be on a cruise. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy.
That's
Yes. Live your life, girl. I love that. Yes.
Live your best life.
Yes. Enjoy.
Yes.
Have a fabulous
Mhm.
cruise.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
again, this is Goddess Janae of Artistic Healing Expressions. And we got Goddess Tamika of TB's Live.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I appreciate my sis so much. I appreciate it so much. Yes. But all love.
Until next
We
time.
appreciate you. So until next time, have a good one.
Peace. Boo doo boo doo boo 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 boo. Yeah.